as EB was going through the 5 things that the writer from Yahoo says that Washington must do to become a Super Bowl contender, I was actually thinking about a conversation I had yesterday. I mentioned that we were talking some football and Washington football team yesterday here in the house, and Kelsey thinks, oh, Matthew Stafford, they go 12-4. And what I told her is, you got to think about not that, far away history, the pretty recent history of this team when they've actually had these outlier seasons of making the playoffs. Usually, at least the last couple of decades, it ends up not being like the next step, like, okay, you made the playoffs, you squeaked in, next year you're going to be even better. Usually it's going to step back. Like, I was thinking the last time this team won a playoff game was in Joe Gibbs' second year. Mm-hmm. And that was, I think that's 2005, 2006, whatever the exact year is. So Gibbs takes over. Everybody's excited. First year sucks. Second year, they go on that late season run where they win their last 5 games. And then they won a playoff game. And everybody is on fire, right? Mm-hmm. Because they won a playoff game. And the assumption is, well, it's Joe Gibbs. Next year, they're going to be even better.
Right.
And then in year 3, they finish 5-11.
Yeah.
Right, I think it was Brunell, EB. I think still Collins Brunell. Was the 4th year. I'd have to check.
What year was that?
Well, when they went on the 5-game run, that was Collins.
Well, I think they did that again. Yeah. I'd have to
check.
check.
Twice?
Maybe Jason Campbell?
Remember, they made the playoffs twice with you might be right. Maybe it was Todd Collins, but they made the playoffs twice with Gibbs.
Yeah.
But in
twice
year
in a
3,
4-year span.
Yeah, in year 3, after coming off that 5-game streak and winning their first playoff game, they fell flat and finished 5-11.
That's been the hallmark of this franchise under Dan Snyder's ownership, is that nothing has been sustainable. No long stretches of success. No like 3 or 4 seasons where they win double-digit games strung together. It's been impossible under this ownership, and hopefully that's turning the corner with Ron Rivera and company. You know, they benefited by being in a bad division, but they still made the playoffs, and hopefully they're able to go from 7 wins and can get to double digits next year. It's going to be tough because they're going to be playing that first-place schedule. It's not going to be easy, but hopefully he can build something here instead of just having a one-off type of scenario.
I mean, it's going to depend on who their quarterback is. That's what it's going to all come down to.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah. You're going to have to find
look how hard it is.
They know that.
Look how hard it is to go from, a legit playoff team, a legit, Super Bowl contender to just out of the playoffs. You've got to stay healthy. First of all, you got to have a quarterback, but you got to stay healthy. Your draft picks have to hit at least a couple of them. And you got to have a little luck. I mean, it's just hard to make the playoffs back-to-back years.
Yeah, especially a team like Washington.
If they don't get it right at quarterback, nothing else matters.
I think Collins was the
second one.
Was the second run.
No, Brunell was there the
2007. Yeah, I think Brunell was 2005.
Okay.
And then when you get to 2007, it's Jason Campbell, and then Todd Collins takes over.
Okay.
Right. Did Campbell get hurt, or did they bench him? He got hurt, didn't he?
I think he got hurt. Yeah. That would be my guess.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Been so long. But my point is, you're not necessarily set up to take the next step. If you had to bet, Cakes, is next year for Washington and Ron Rivera going to be a step forward, 7-9 this year? Who knows what it means to division? Do they get more wins, or do you think it's even or a step back?
I mean, I need to know who the quarterback is.
Yeah.
I can't answer that until I know who the QB is.
Well, if you go with the odds are to be backwards. Just go with the odds of how things tend to play out here.
Yeah.
But
Cakes is right. You got to figure out who the QB is. If the QB is someone they draft at 19, and then they're going to start, they have a bridge veteran, whether it's Smith or Kyle Allen or whoever. Then
you're looking at 4, 5, 6 wins.
Yeah, you're probably going backwards. But if it's someone that can make a trade for one of the established guys, you could see maybe 8, 9 wins.
I mean, even though I'm against it, if they brought in Fitzpatrick, you think he gives you a shot between 7 and 9. But that's the most, right? Even if they brought in a guy like Fitzpatrick, that's the absolute most.
Maybe.
Yeah. Right? That's most.
If they brought in Fitzpatrick.
That's my guy.
Well, hold on. If they brought in Fitzpatrick, then I would assume they have a quarterback that they drafted that's trying to groom.
You would think.
Maybe, but
So I don't-
you might groom him, but you still might not play him if Fitzpatrick's playing well. I mean, I think what Miami did was on borderline crazy because Fitzpatrick was playing great, and they were hell bent on playing Tua.
I mean, they had a winning record, but they drafted someone at 5.
Yeah, but maybe just wait a year.
But Fitzpatrick eventually would have played like Fitztragic.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing.
So-
That's what he
right.
does.
You sign up for that when you sign him when he's in your building. You know you're going to get the highs and the lows of his play.
But
The
Kicks
thing
is
is,
right.
if they can't get Stafford, who's got he's got his heart set on Indy, and I'm sure he'll be pushing the Detroit people to accommodate him, and then they can't give up enough to get Deshaun. Who else potentially would it be?
That's a good question.
I mean, I really don't want
Jameis,
Tyrod Taylor.
I mean, Jameis.
I don't think the Saints are going to give
Carr.
up Jameis.
I think you guys are eliminating the possibility. I know that you all three of you believe that Alex Smith is not going to be part of the answer here in Washington.
I don't think they want him.
But and I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but I think that you have to leave open the possibility that Alex tells them, I want to come back, and that management decides they don't have better options that they like. They can't realistically get Deshaun Watson, can't get Matthew Stafford. Those are all dream scenarios. And then they don't really like any of the guys in free agency that are available, like Ryan Fitzpatrick or Jameis Winston. And they just decide to bring them back. And they say, you know what, we're going to do the best we can with Alex Smith, Heineke, and Allen.
I'd be stunned if
It's
that
a
happens,
possibility.
but I'm not gonna count him out because
it is a possibility, but I'd say 10%.
when Rivera started talking about, well, Alex Smith is still here, he's competing, during the spring and summer, I dismissed it. I was like, that's crazy talk. There's no way he's going to be in the mix, and he wound up being in the mix and starting games until he couldn't.
If that happens, just be prepared for another losing season because he's going to get hurt.
Right, which
And then
kind of
you're
gets
gonna-
me back to my first point.
And you're going to have to go to the backup.
That gets me to my first point of, is this going to be a step forward or a step back or kind of the same? I think if you bring back Alex Smith as your starter and you have Heineke in the room and Kyle Allen may be part of the team as well, you're not advancing.
Well, here's the thing,
at
though.
best, you're going to
They're a
be
little
7
bit
and
better
9 team
because
again.
at least you don't have Haskins in the room, and I'm not trying to slam the kid, but he wasn't ready to go. So I think those three will be better than like 4 or 5 games from Haskins.
So you could maybe make an argument that
But
you
see,
win
this is
one or
what you're
two of
not-
those Haskins games.
This is what you're not remembering or factoring in. You don't know who they're going to sign in free agency and who they're going to draft. So it's easy to say they're going to be worse based on what you see on the roster now. But if you add, let's say, 10 players in free agency in the draft, well, some of those players are going to make them better.
Some of them will, yeah,
But
sure.
Cakes is right. I mean, you have to figure out the quarterback position.
Well, listen, I'm going to give you the percentages here. All right, the percentages of Alex coming back, I'm going to say at 10%.
Coming back to Washington, because I think he wants to play.
I agree, but I think they don't want to be in that business. So let's say Alex comes back. Just give it 10% though, because they do like him in the locker room and everything. So and
They have to take a cap hit. I know it's not huge, right? But there's a cap hit.
Yeah, but it's not that bad. I think the chances of signing Deshaun, or pulling off that deal because it's going to take so much, 5%.
I think Deshaun wants to go to the Jets or Miami.
Yeah, and it's just going to take so much.
And they
to
draft
get
2
him.
and 3.
Nobody elite is going to want to come here unless you make him the highest paid player in the league or something, right? So no one's going to want to do that. Stafford, I think the chances of pulling that deal off, maybe like 15%. And then I don't know who else.
Right, so that doesn't leave great options.
I don't know who else.
Let's go to the phones. 800-636-1067. Drew's in D.C. He has kind of a preposterous theory.
Yeah.
Hey, Drew.
Yeah, what's going on, man? I don't want to say preposterous. I'm a diehard, Washington fan, man. But, you look at it, we so close right now, we kind of like going up the hill. So the last thing we need to do, okay, you draft a rookie quarterback, take 2 or 3 years, then the defensive lines, then they get older.
Right.
So you want to try to keep your core. I say right now, man, even though, Deshaun, without getting no draft picks, man, you go after Jack Prescott. You go after him in Dallas, You can get, you don't have to give up no draft picks. I think he's unrestricted. I don't think you have to give up any picks for him, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but it's called the franchise. They can franchise him. It means he can't go anywhere. If they
Well, at least what he's saying, though, is at least make the offer. and make an absurd offer. I don't even know if – I mean, now, again, the Alex Smith part, it's got to be the first domino. You got to figure out what's going to happen with Alex Smith. Because let's say you want to actually make a run at Dak. You're going to need a lot of money. Are you going to eat Alex's contract? How much money is left?
I think
and you still want to make all those moves that we just talked about.
You would have to make a similar offer, probably a better offer, to get Dak than you would Deshaun.
Right, and then you're not going to be able to get your receiver and your linebacker and all those things on the wish list.
Do you actually think the Cowboys would trade their starting quarterback, their franchise quarterback, to a division rival?
No way.
I mean, are you insane in the membrane?
Impossible.
I mean, come on. Let's be realistic. That would never happen.
By the way, if Washington wants to get out of the Alex Smith business, they would eat, looks like almost $11 million in dead cap money. They take a $10.8 million cap hit.
Okay, it's not as bad as
I thought
like
it was
Green
higher
Bay.
than
If they wanted to get out of the Aaron Rodgers, I think they eat like $30 million.
Now, this is according to Spot Track. It says potential out 2021, makes his deal the 3 years he's already been here, a 3-year, $71 million deal, $10.8 million in dead cap money.
Well, you're probably right.
I'm trying to look at the draft here. I just pulled up the Walter football draft.
Walter's a busy man this time of year.
All right, so
Funny 'cause
they've got
everyone's looked at that thing.
Yeah, I mean, just try to look
Well,
at.
there's
I don't even
seven
know who
first
Walter
ones.
is.
I know it's funny because when you Google 2021 NFL mock draft, it's the first one that comes up.
comes up all the
yeah.
Well, this was the second one, CBS Sports, but I didn't go to that one. But yeah, your point is well taken. It always comes up. So Trevor Lawrence went 1. They have Justin Fields still going 2 here, which I find a little bit interesting. They have Zach going 4 to Atlanta. And then who would be the next quarterback off the board? It would
Maybe Mac or Lance.
Lance they have going 15 to the Patriots. Fine, take him. You can have him.
What if Washington loves Lance and they trade up a few spots to get him? Is that going to drive you crazy, EB?
That'll kill me.
He'll have a conniption
They have Waddle, though, going 19.
Oh,
to Washington.
That would get people sized.
Oh, yeah. But you got to have a quarterback throwing it to him.
They don't have – did I miss Mac Jones?
Some mocks don't have him going that high.
Wow.
If Trey comes to DC, we're making D-Pants for Lance T-shirts.
I mean, look, he's dynamic running the ball. So, and he's got an arm. It's just inaccurate.
I think the Stafford deal is going to go down pretty quick. I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to Washington. I think whoever he gets traded to, I think that's going to go down here in the next. I don't know if it's next week, but next couple weeks.
Yeah. I just don't know who we're going to plug in there because I don't think they're going to get Watson. I don't think they're going to get Stafford.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Maybe
you're looking at
running it back.
Numbers. Yeah. And if they
gonna
run it back. Now, it could be better, remember, because then you don't have you're not tainted by the Haskins starts.
No, you're right.
At least you're
We'll
going to
put it
have
this
3
way.
guys that are prepared.
If it's not going to be Watson. If it's not Stafford, you're not going to be happy with anybody.
Well, look, I'm not saying I'm
Probably.
a believer in
You
this,
won't be
but Alex
excited.
Smith did have a very good record as a starter.
Oh, not this
And
again. Not
we
the-
understand that
he
the
just wins
season
games.
ended with the injuries, and he wasn't able to play at the end. But when he was healthy, they were winning games. And he may be even more confident after getting through a season. You know, it was a big unknown. He may be feeling even more confident.
He missed the most important game of the year.
Understood?
He's just going to get hurt again. You know
I
he
just
is.
don't see how Rivera and the 2 Martys and the rest of the coaching staff and the personnel staff that they're going to huddle in a room and think that Alex Smith is the best option going forward in 2021. I refuse to believe that.
Well, he's not the
Okay,
best
but
option.
you also refused to believe that he was going to be on the field in the first place this season.
I did. I mean, he overcame what looked to be insurmountable odds. to
JP,
do
we're
it.
not saying it's impossible, but the chances are just dwindling.
All right, so hold on. I'm looking at the free agents. It's not going to be Dak. It's not going to be Jacoby Brissett, I don't think. Jacoby Brissett last year made $15 million.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Great-
I mean, there's
great
no
country.
way. Mitch
Incredible.
Trubisky, I know like Lurch is kind of like a closet Trubisky fan.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying.
not.
I think I just think he would be better than what you have now.
The fan base would be so frustrated.
Oh, my God,
They'd
that
rather
would be
see
embarrassing.
Heineke.
Big time. Fitzpatrick is probably the sexiest name of all the others, like Tyrod. I mean, Tyrod's already 32.
You don't want
A.J.
Tyrod.
McCarron.
If you
I don't
want
Tyrod.
Tyrod or Fitzpatrick over Trubisky, you're crazy.
I would rather have Fitzpatrick just for, like, I think we'd win more games with Ryan Fitzpatrick than we would with Mitch Trubisky. I just think he's better.
I'm gonna. Well, I don't know.
You disagree?
Older. He's older, and he doesn't.
He's older.
run as well.
He's not obviously anybody you build on. That's the classic bridge quarterback. But everybody else, Nathan Peterman made $2 million last year. He might be the worst quarterback in the history of the game. How does he still get picked up? RG3, that game, that
every
business is
7 or
over.
8 passes, Nathan Peterman.
Nathan Peterman made more than Cam Newton last year.